Hi, I'm April Bauer, and I'm really pleased to be a featured artist at the Sedona Arts Center. And every time I am, I'm thrilled to make a new collection that will be featured. And this time I've made the Water's Edge collection, which is all sterling silver. This is argentium silver, and it's fused. And the Water's Edge is really a nod to a stream bed, kind of the water flowing on the sides of a stream or in a tidal pool. So these are all beautifully custom made and nice substantial pieces, but my earrings are always very, very light because my little watchword is extremely wearable jewelry, because I like things to be very comfortable and easy to wear. I have bracelets, rings. Here's a little ring. And this one with the Water's Edge, a comfortable band, something that you could just, wear every day for fun. So come and check out my Water's Edge collection. And then busy during the pandemic shutdown, I made lots of jewelry and worked on some fine things with 24 karat gold. And this is one of my special pieces. This one is called Tempest, and it's a combination of several different carats of gold. That's a little black diamond there, and this is a dendritic agate, and that is a zircon, a special orange zircon. And this is 24 karat gold and sterling silver that's been oxidized. So it was kind of a fun piece, kind of a special one. And here are some earrings that might go nicely with it in the same style. And this ring is part of this collection too. This has a natural rose cut diamond. Well, it's rose cut. I don't know if we call that natural, but it's a natural diamond in that it's dark and got some inclusions in it. And this is 18 karat gold dust that's been fused on there for a fun, dramatic ring look.
Good morning, I'm Bill Belvin, a photographer. Thank you, Sedona Arts Center, for the opportunity to be a featured artist again. This is the third time I've been a featured artist, and it's such a pleasure being able to show my work and talk about myself and my work. I thought I'd talk a little bit about my background. I've been doing photography for about 22 years seriously. I've been competing in various photographic competitions for the last 12 years. I've won many awards, and I've been a professional photographer for the last 5 years since moving to Sedona 7 years ago. I thought I'd talk about some of the pieces that are shown here. This one in particular is one of my favorites. Part of why I love photography is because you get to explore and you get to see new things that aren't commonly seen by others. This is an Anasazi ruin. It's about 1,000 years old. It's called the Dollhouse. It took me 3 trips to finally get this picture. The first trip we tried to get there. It's in Barriers National Monument, by the way. We were driving down a dirt road on the side of a mountain, and we're getting more and more into mud and muck, and it's about a 500-foot drop off the side of the mountain. And I suddenly noticed that the side of the mountain has been washed out and is not there anymore. So we have to turn around. Now I have a 21-foot F-350 truck on a fairly narrow road, turning around in the mud with that drop off, and my wife saying, watch out, was not so much fun. But we did get out. After that, I looked for alternative ways to get there. Turned out there were none. But going back 6 months later, the road had been repaired, and I was able to get there. This particular picture, what I love about it is it's pretty much unrestored. The timbers in the roof are all originals, is my understanding. Again, it's called the Doll House, but that's a misnomer. It's actually a granary. They stored grain from the plateau just above here. but it's definitely not a house. There is no entrance other than these two windows. If you look at the back wall, it is solid. For lighting, I put a light panel in the back to light the wall. I wanted to get a nice glow around the house. And we also put two phones, my own and my wife's Elaine's, in the windows to provide the light, the interior light. You'll see that I really like night photography from this. This is Sunset Arch. It is normally shot around sunset when it gets this beautiful glow from the sun. But in this case, I wanted to get a picture at night. When I went there, the intent was to have the Milky Way over here, and unfortunately, and the moon was coming up. Unfortunately, it just didn't work. By the time the Milky Way had drifted this way, the moon would have been washing it out. So I improvised. I was actually laying on the ground right around here with a 10mm lens shooting upwards, and was able to capture the Milky Way inside the arch. Pretty unique picture. If you look at the Milky Way itself in here, there's something called the Dark Horse Nebula. You saw kind of a rotated horse. It's rotated 90 degrees counterclockwise. And if you look up here, that's the brightest star in the northern celestial hemisphere. It's called Arcturus, and it's very bright. You can see it almost all year.
Good morning. My name is Christy Palmer. I'm a contemporary acrylic artist here in Sedona. I've been here for about 9 years now. I like to say it was a monsoon that brought me in to Sedona. Having been here one summer during monsoon season, I just fell in love with the environment and the fresh air and watching the dynamics of the monsoons come in. So found a place to build a house and a studio, and we moved here. I'm a primarily landscape artist. I like to fuse elements of the dramatic with my landscapes. And they are often described, while being bold and colorful and dynamic, as also giving off that environment of serenity, peacefulness, and just a sense of calm, I guess. For starters, this is one of my monsoons painting. It actually shows a scene from my home and studio. This is our view. And this was a very dramatic storm that came in about 2 years ago, 2 summers ago. I work from my memory a lot and also document things on my iPhone, because frequently what I see that I want to paint is a very fleeting image. This particular painting is acrylic on a linen board, which I have not worked with before, so I do experiment with substrates from time to time. It is from a helicopter flight over Waimea Canyon in Kauai, and Waimea Canyon is known as the Grand Canyon of Hawaii. It's also called Red Waters. When you are there, that's what they'll call it. I do other series as well that are more abstract. This is an example of that. This one is the colors of the earth, Tiger's Eye Red. There are 2 more of those paintings in this series over here. And these are paintings 5, 6, and 7 in this series that I've done. I have always had a fascination for picking up pebbles. And around here in Sedona, you can pick up these little gorgeous stones almost anywhere in our stores. And sometimes that's a person's very first image of such a thing in Sedona, and you don't realize, they're all here and about. This one was the red-eyed tiger over there. These 2 paintings are from our drives from Sedona over to California, and you can go through these fields of color that are just absolutely gorgeous, especially when you're getting the clouds from monsoons coming in. So I love those too. And 2 other smaller works that are primarily memory. This This is from the desert area in the spring over towards the Palm Springs area. This one is called Winter's Breath. It's totally from way back in my memory, from days living on Lake Michigan in the Chicago area, where I first studied and exhibited and got going in the art business. So happy to share all this with you, and hope you will take time to take a good look, both online and in the gallery if you're able to come in. I appreciate it.
Hello, I'm Neil Kennedy. These are some of the pieces that I've made for this show. As you can see, the color combinations that I use are these, and we call this the Sedona Night Sky color combination. And the reason why is if you look at Bill Belvin's work right here, you can see there's a lot of similarity in the colors when he takes a picture of the night sky. And people ask me whether or not I came up with the glaze after I came to Sedona, and the answer is no. I came up with this glaze when I was living in California, and I was showing in Laguna Beach, and a fellow ceramicist at a place that I was showing at said, you know what, your stuff belongs in Sedona. And so I was just like, huh, because I had never been to Sedona, never traveled through here, so didn't really know what he was talking about. So we came here, traveled to Sedona, and fell in love with it, and here I am. You know, I went to school in Italy for arts and traveled Asia, so you can see a lot of influence from those different places in my work. But then also, growing up, my mother was nice enough to take all of us to galleries and studios. And I also grew up majority of my life on Cape Cod, where there's a lot of ceramicists or potters. And she used to take us around and introduce us to those potters. And you could probably see a lot of influence from some of the potters in my work. In one of the pottery studios that's right near my mother's home, it's called Scargo Pottery. And if you were to go there and then look at my work, you probably would see some influence. And so people always ask me too whether or not COVID-19 had an influence on my work. Not per se, but during, say, lockdown, I wasn't necessarily locked down. So I would go out and take a lot of mountain bike rides, go fishing, go hiking, and even take road bike rides. And it was so peaceful around here because there's nobody here. And it really gave you and myself time to reflect and look at you know, the rock formations out here, and even the water in the creeks. And some of the pieces here are really kind of influenced by me looking at the water while I was trout fishing. And this is one of the pieces, and then some of the pieces over here back in the corner, you can really see some movement in them in terms of water overlapping and flowing through the creek. And then even the color itself, you know, makes you think of water. So that in a nutshell is me and my work. You know, please come to the show. It starts this Friday, and it will be going on for 2 months.
Hi, my name is Art Hiscox. I have been in the art business now for probably 15 years, retired 20 years ago from teaching history, and taught history for 30 years. So I kind of like the old and the rocky and the kind of amethyst and crystal kind of materials, which you'll see in these two pieces right here. But in the Art Center, we taught mosaic classes, we taught the materials at the mixed media kind of classes, and this is an example of some of the things that we've done in the past. I've got an amethyst crystal ring with a crystal behind that yet, rainforest marble on the bottom and the sides, and then a glass sky on top to it. These are very heavy pieces, which I'm becoming known for, sad to say. They can outweigh everything. And some of the other ones that I've done, including this piece here, is a sculpture. I've done them also that are wall pieces. This one happens to be about 40 pounds or so, so it's a sculpture, it can sit on a base like this. And again, a big amethyst here. The glass has been slumped in the front, and the glass sky. And also, as we both have worked, my wife and I both, on the tables over the past, I've done some that are separate. This is the table with reclaimed barnwood that's from the local cottonwood area. And it's got the glass in it with stones and that you can see in the other materials, semi-precious stones, ammonites, polychrome stone. But we've done these in the past, usually out of marble and granite. And this has been made out of just reclaimed wood, which is very unique and very different.
Hi, I'm Joanne Hiscox, and I've been an artist here at the Art Center for almost 20 years now. And the funny thing about this story is that it all started here, literally here, in this gallery. I sold my very first piece here at the Sedona Arts Center. My background is not in art, my background is in business, but I took a class at the Art Center and became involved, and eventually ended up teaching here and being a member of the gallery. This is one of my pieces. This is sort of where I started, which is in mixed media mosaics. This piece is typical of what I like to do, which is blend nature with art and use Mother Nature's own beauty to bring out a piece to the fullest extent. After I got into mosaics, I decided to try fused glass. So I started making fused glass pieces, and I have a couple of examples over here of two different types. This is a thick fused glass piece. It uses about 5 different types of glass. It had to go into the kiln 4 different times to make. And what I really like about it is the way that it reflects in the light and shows all the beautiful colors. I used iridized glass on the top here to give the idea of the sunrise and sunset glow. This is another piece of mine. One of the things that I'm known for is creating things that are different and unique. I don't use any molds that are commercially produced. Everything I do myself. In other words, if I do need to have a mold, I will make that mold myself. I'll hand carve it out of chimney flue or out of a piece of metal, shape it the way I want it. So my work has a tendency to be different every time you see it. I come from a background of problem solving, so I like to consider myself a no-fear artist. I'll try anything, and I really feel that no matter what it is, even if I've never done it before, I have the ability to figure out how to do it and make it work. And that's what happened with this piece. This piece is actually 3 layers thick. The bottom layer, and then the middle layer, and then this top shelf. I designed this from scratch. I had to draw it to scale and send it to my metal fabricator who made the piece. And what I really like about it is not only is it dimensional because it comes forward towards the viewer, but it also has this great flow to it. Again, I like to use nature in my work, as you can tell from the first piece you saw, the mountain scene here, and the flowing nature of this particular piece. The thing that my husband and I are most known for are our river tables, and this is an example of that. This is sort of where it started. I told you once before at the beginning that my career started here at the Art Center, and it literally did. The then director and gallery manager were kind enough to notice my talents when I was taking classes here and offered me my very first show. It was at that show that we created our very first river table. And I think that was about in 2003 or 2004. The river tables have really taken on a life of their own. They've developed over time. They've become more elaborate. But this one is particularly interesting because it has a huge amethyst crystal in it from Uruguay. It has tricolored fluorite slabs, and it has chevron amethyst nuggets on the end. As I said, I've been involved with the Art Center for a long time. It's a great organization. It's wonderful for the community. I hope you all will come out, take a look at the great pieces that are here. We have 6 artists represented here, all different medias. At this time when you're not doing much and you're staying home and you're bored and you want something new and different, this is the place to come. It's a wonderful organization. As I said, it is a nonprofit. You don't have to pay tax, and you're supporting the community. If it weren't for the Art Center, I wouldn't be an artist. So I highly encourage you to stop by the Art Center, not only during our show, but throughout the entire year. Thank you.